And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brandon Rhymes, our typical host, is unfortunately under the weather, and I'm Jason Avery, owner of Avery Construction. I've been a contributor on this show for over, I guess, going on 14 years now, so you might recognize my voice. I own a few local businesses, and Brandon asked me if I could step in, and man, these are some big shoes to fill. So the Consumer Quarterback Show is all about cutting through the BS and the mainstream media and bringing you real advice from real entrepreneurs, business owners, and business managers who are engaged in our local community here in Tampa Bay. Of course, the show is brought to you by the Platinum MVP Real Estate Team. And I got a special announcement. Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, dear friends of mine, are growing this team a little further. The announcements are now out that they have another new baby on the way. I know those guys were trying for a long time to have a child, and we were blessed with one a few years back, and now here we have another. So congratulations, Brandon and Lindsay, and I'm so happy for you guys, and glad that this team continues to grow. So let's talk about a couple of the hot listings by the Platinum MVP Real Estate Team, and then we're going to get with a guest who's sitting on hold. We've got Fred Muth, the Tin Man, and he's with Tampa Bay Screens and Aluminum. As a guy who works with remodeling, I work around screens and aluminum a lot, and I can tell you this is a great business in town, and we're going to get to hear from him here soon. Let me tell you first about 8107 Sierra Manor Lane, and that's in Tampa. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage. It's a 2-story. It's on 3,600 square feet, and it's on over an acre. The kitchen has been updated with granite countertops, Wolf gas stove, 500-gallon buried propane tank. It's a very energy-efficient home. It's got spray foam insulation, a whole home generator. Primarily has a walk-in closet, a fireplace, a luxurious in-suite bathroom. It's a smart home system for the lighting and the security cameras. There's 2 HVAC systems installed in 2024, brand new. Heated in-ground pool, spa, expansive patio. The metal roof was done in 2023. It's practically brand new, too, with a 65-year transferable warranty. There's 130 feet of private fence on the waterfront and a 6,000-pound boat lift with a private dock. It has direct access to the waters of Upper Tampa Bay. I mean, this one is hot. You should see the pictures. If you haven't looked them up yet, go to consumerqb.com and check it out. Another hot listing that we have here is 1905 Masters Way, Plant City, and this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage. It's almost 3,000 square feet. It's on over a quarter of an acre, and it's got a double entry door with etched glass inserts. There's a floor to room with expansive windows, a split floor plan, oversized great room. They got built-in shelves. The kitchen features an abundance of cabinets and a walk-in pantry as well. There's, in the primary, it's his and hers walk-in closets, 2 additional built-in suite closets, an in-suite with garden soaking tub and a standalone shower. And this is Walden Lake amenities. They got walking trails, a dog park, playground, sports complex, access to the lake for non-motorized vehicles. Again, this is a hot listing. You definitely should go check it out, consumerqb.com, and see these and other listings. So we're going to dive right into some show content for today. But again, when we're promoting our real estate, Brandon has some fun buttons for me to push that aren't working. So my producer, Dave, will fix those buttons, and we'll give you fun bits of music later. Right now, let's turn it over to our guest on the show today. And again, we got Fred Muth, the Tin Man. He's Tampa Bay Screens and Aluminum. How you doing today, Tin Man?
I am doing fantastic. You know, I haven't seen you in a while. You know, we go back. We go back many years, quite a few years on this show.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that you've done a lot of work with Tampa Screens.
Absolutely.
How do you work with Richard? Richard and Ricky are the owners.
Yes, with Richard we're tied together through an organization called the Construction Partners of Tampa Bay. So a group of trusted trades professionals that can feel good about referring each other. We've vetted each other. We hold each other accountable, and it's been a great relationship between our companies. And I send tons of work your way, and happy to recommend. So what are you seeing out there? Hurricanes blew away a lot of bird cages, right?
Yeah, we're still cleaning up the Milton mess, which followed the Helena mess. Let me tell you, buddy, it's been rough. I'm sure you've been out there doing the same thing.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, we're getting plenty of phone calls for the flood damage. Of course, there's a multitude of different situations, and the unfortunate scenario is that a lot of these people that were damaged aren't going to be allowed to put their homes back together based on the restrictions that FEMA puts into place. And so,
as a matter of fact, you worked the show May and June last year, and I recall you specifically touching on the FEMA allowance. And you know what? Who knew the storms were going to come at the magnitude that they did? But as far as I know, the improvement can be no more than 50% of the value of the structure. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And that's a topic that people get misconstrued when it's the value of the structure. That's the key word. So you might have spent $1 million on real estate, but you bought $600K worth of land. You bought $200K worth of a pool and accessory dwelling, and then you've got $200K left over of an actual structure that was original on that property, and it might have been built back in the 50s or 60s. It's not hurricane compliant. It's inside the flood elevation. So, it's just glutton for punishment, that home, and these once-in-a-100-year type incidents. And, so many of them, it depends on the interpretation of the local municipality at the building department. And if they, say that there's no look-back period, well, you can open a permit for half the value, close it, and open another one. But when it's a scenario like some of these places, if you've pulled any permits in the last 5 years, they count against that value. And if you already did a roof and air conditioner, you put a screen, cage over your pool, all those things that a permit was pulled for, actually the bird cage wouldn't. You're exempt from that in your industry because of it. Maybe not. It's all about things that are attached to the home. I'd be curious to find out. The pool is not qualified in it, so I'm guessing the bird cage is not qualified in it. But as soon as you attach it to the home, maybe it is, because it's all about things that are attached to the structure that count against the value.
Yeah, I believe it is, because I've run into that a couple of times. I don't have a solid answer on that, but I'm almost certain that it is, that it does calculate to the value.
So what about carports and stuff? Imagine some of these condo associations nearby probably had a lot of carports wiped out. Are you seeing a surge of that work?
I got a lot of that, as a matter of fact. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got one probably it's going to go in within the next 2 or 3 months in Largo, and it's a major job. I mean, 2 carports went down. These things were built back many years ago when the wind loads were different, and when we go back and rebuild them, obviously we go back with the current wind loads, and they are much stronger, a heck of a lot stronger than they were built back then.
Yeah, I usually like 2x2 posts back then, and now it's like 2x3 or even bigger, isn't it?
Now, the carports back then were 3x3 structural columns, and they were typically set in 24-inch square cube isolated footers. And we go back now with 4x4 minimum with 30 inches by 30 inches square cube footers, isolated footers. So, I say the 145 wind load, but I feel confident that structure would hold up to a 160, 170 wind load easily.
Yeah, it keeps getting tougher and tougher all the time. And for the consumers listening, this is all about, insurance, really, and the lobbyists who represent insurance when it comes to the writing of the Florida building codes. And, if they don't keep making it stronger, bigger, badder, so it won't blow away, then the rates of insurance will keep going up. So that's, what keeps making these codes get more stringent and stringent all the time. It seems like a lot of bureaucracy to most people, but there are reasons behind, the methodology and the decisions that are made. So
absolutely.
So I imagine carports have blown away, bird cages have blown away, a lot of that. What's new in the marketplace today? I'm seeing a lot of people wanting these panoramic type of setups, and where you got fewer cross members or posts, so you open up the view onto the golf course, onto the water, That seems to be a hot topic.
That is a very hot topic. The product's been around, I guess, about 7 or 8 years, and I do like it. I like the look, providing you have the right backdrop on the real estate. In other words, if the backdrop is nothing more than a picket fence on the back, I don't think you get any value out of that open view on the back side. It's more expensive to build them. But we are taking a lot of calls for cages that are 15, 20 years old to just tear them down and start over and go back with open view or pano view. And I always differentiate between open view and pano view. Pano view is typically all sides of the enclosure, panoramic, whereas open view would be, in most cases, just the rear of the cage. And typically when we build the open view on the rear, we try to eliminate the chair rail on the side, so it gives it more of an open feeling. And frankly, I think that the open view on the rear only is more appealing. I think it gives it a little bit of texture when you look at it, and it's just my opinion. But realistically, that's the big item. And the cages that went away in Milton, a lot of them are going back with the open view or the pano view right now.
So, price point wise, to take it from the panoramic view to now an electric version of that rolls up, but how much is somebody adding to that order? And just round numbers, of course. But I'm just curious. I saw that at a friend's house where, all screened in, nice, beautiful view. And then, it was daytime. We wanted to go out in the backyard. He just hit a button. It retracted up, and now it was an open plan. And it was just an amazing, concept. You guys seen a bunch of that?
There's not a lot of that around. The roll-up, the electric roll-ups are a whole different product. Whereas, I've sold some roll-ups, and they're extremely expensive. Price-wise, I don't think you're going to get a roll-up for less than about $5,000.
Sure, well, and that's not the total spend either, because you're going to have the electrician wire power to it onto the switch. Correct. You're going to have probably a breaker added. There's going to be more to that, I'm certain. And then what else do you have to do to flash it or seal it or
Yeah, it's involved when you incorporate a roll-up into a cage. What we have done more than anything is basically you build the cage, and then we bring the roll-up company in, and they'll put a roll-up between the lanai and the pool. That's a nice product. That's a good look. And when you talk pricing, you're talking for pano view or open view. Rough number that usually runs anywhere from about $80 to $100 a lineal foot. So if you've got a 40-foot wide rear, and you're talking, a 2 open panel on the rear, you're looking at $3,800 to $4,000 more just to open that up on the backside. The reason being because the structure's altogether different. It's massive beam on the top, massive uprights, and they use a poly fabric, which is also known as a super screen product, which is a very good product. I don't know how familiar you are with that. It's an extremely strong product, but the beauty of the poly fabric and the super screen is it stretches. It's got a lot more give to it, so that on the big, large open panels, when the aluminum expands and contracts, because it's always moving, basically they roll it in real tight, and you don't get any waves in the screen. That fabric can move with the metal, whereas a standard fabric, on a stretch, a 25-foot stretch, whatever, when that metal moves, a standard fabric is so rigid it may tear.
Wow. And what about colors? Is everything still, typically the smoke color, or are people getting fancier with these, rooms these days?
Well, the cage's aluminum framework is restricted to white or bronze. And, people will say bronze, and, it's much dark. People will actually ask me for black aluminum, depending on how your eye visualizes that. It's a very, very dark color. I tell people Hershey's chocolate. Hershey's dark chocolate is an identical match to the bronze. And when I say Hershey's dark chocolate, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, a good analogy.
Right. And then as far as the screen fabric goes, I've been doing this 33 years. I've never sold anything other than charcoal-colored fabric. Charcoal-colored fabric gives you the most visibility. That way you don't have light refracting back to your eyes when it's a very dark screen product. So charcoal fabric is the standard in the industry.
All right. Well, we're going to hear more from Fred Muth after our little break. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Again, I'm Jason Avery, owner of Avery Construction. I'm filling in for Brandon Rhymes, our fearless host and leader with the Platinum MVP Realty team. You can check out some of their hot listings at consumerqb.com. And right after the break, we're going to come back, talk some more with Fred Muth, the Tin Man. And later in the show, we have a couple of other call-in guests. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rhymes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon Rhymes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we're back with the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm Jason Avery. I'm filling in for Brandon Rhymes today. We're wishing him speedy recovery. The Platinum MVP Real Estate team is what this show's all about. It's taking the mainstream media's BS, throwing it out the window, and giving you real advice from consumers and for consumers, but from entrepreneurs, business managers, business owners locally here in Tampa Bay. They know what's really going on, and they're here to share their wisdom and advice with you. We do have a couple of Brandon's hot real estate listings that we want to go ahead and go over while we're here. And we've got a listing at 1120. This is Driggers Road in Lakeland. It's a 2.4 acres of vacant land, zoning RC. This is tucked away on a quiet dead-end road. It's got an electric meter already in place. Country charm of North Lakeland, just moments away from shopping, dining, top-rated schools, and other conveniences. It's easy access to major highways. Tampa and Orlando are within a short drive. It's just some beautiful woodsy land and needs some development. So definitely a hot listing to check out. Another that we have here is going to be 4229, and this is Red Cliff Place, unit number 4229 in Newport Richey. It's an updated 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-car garage, 624 square foot condominium. It's situated near downtown Newport Richey. Charming stained glass insert in the front door. We got kitchen has stainless steel appliances, quartz countertops, and a mosaic subway tile backsplash. Primary has sliders that open out into an enclosed private porch. Community offers a heated pool, clubhouse, shuffleboard courts, a dock overlooking a serene pond. HOA fees cover the exterior maintenance, the internet, cable TV, sewer, trash, and water. This and other hot listings at consumerqb.com. We have a Consumer QB happy hour coming up, and we'd love to get together socially at least once a month, and all the show contributors. I've been a contributor on the show for about 14 years now. All the people we're talking to. We've got Fred Muth on the line. He's the Tin Man with Tampa Bay Screens and Aluminum. We'll be visited here shortly by Logan Briggs, the owner of Gulf Shield Roofing. And then we'll get another call in later by Andrew Kube. He's U.S. Commercial and Business Capital, and when you need money. So, but the happy hour where you can meet us and others is going to be on Thursday, January the 16th at 6 p.m., and that's going to be by one of our show sponsors, Brio Tuscan Italian. It has amazing food. If you haven't been there, it's at the International Mall. Brio Tuscan Grill. And let's get back to Fred. Fred, tell me what else, Mr. Tin Man? What's going on in the aluminum world that these people need to know about?
Okay, the aluminum world is affected basically by interest rates, insurance, which affects the housing market, which affects the demand for improvements. I think you would know that as well. I have an experience of much higher consumer confidence since the election. People seem to be more relaxed, and they'll spend money quicker right now. Unfortunately, the insurance companies don't work very well with a lot of the clients, my clients, based on the hurricane coverage. And I think there needs to be some reform in the insurance industry, 100%, because that's a big player in the demand for improvements. You're seeing the same thing, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir. Permitting in my area has definitely gotten a lot more challenging and difficult because there's a lot of disclosure around floods. And when I used to sell some aluminum products way back in my 20s, I remember there was a lot of sort of pre-approved engineering regarding aluminum structures for the more simple projects. Is that still the case today? Or how extensive is your permitting process? How extensive is the engineering required to put up a big bird cage?
Yeah, no, the in-house engineering is no longer available. It was beautiful when we had in-house engineering because you didn't have to send it out and get it stamped, and we saved time. But now, obviously, everything has to be site stamped approved, which is it's a time delay. It may be 2 to 3, sometimes 4 weeks to get that to get your plan stamped. All the engineers, the structural engineers, they're all backed up because everybody's, replacing this and that and the other from the storms. Once you get the plans stamped, typically in Hillsborough County, for example, outside of the city of Tampa. Did I say outside of the city of Tampa? Believe me, you know what I'm talking about there. I can get them in and out very quick in Hillsborough County, unincorporated Hillsborough County. So it's a whole different ballgame when we submit to the city of Tampa. And I don't really want to say too much because I know a lot of people at the city and quite a few people that work with me over there. And I think, there's a lot of bureaucracy that goes on in that building department where you get your application in and it sits and sits and sits and sits. And then you try to correspond with somebody, and correspondence is not very good.
You receive emails. A list of 9 items, and then you fulfill them like the next day, and then 3 weeks later it gets reviewed again, and there's 5 more new items, and then you get it for them the next. Yes, this is the world that we live in.
So it's not good. What's the benefit? You're not helping the consumer confidence or anything. Nothing works out very well when you drag on a permit, especially a pool cage permit. Right. I can get a permit very fast in Hillsborough County. Why can't we get it done at the same rate of speed in the city of Tampa?
And Pinellas County alone has 26 different municipalities to deal with. They all got their different set of ways of handling things, procedures, and rules. I tell you, it's been great talking with you today, Fred. You brought great information to the table as always. Brandon always likes to throw in a feel-good story, so let's go ahead and we'll try and tell me something good.
Tell me something good.
So there's a man who finds a Christmas gift in the wall and his name on it after 46 years. This guy's actually in construction. He's 53 years old now. He's helping his parents, and apparently, a present that might have been hidden in the attic must have dropped down in the cavity of the wall, and room addition after room addition later, now they're opening up the wall, and he finds a present in there. It's got his name on it. It was some Matchbox jet planes. He says it would have been Thunder Jets. It would have been a great gift at the time. He would have been 6 years old. All right, coming back after our next break, we're going to have Logan Briggs, owner of Gulf Shield Roofing in here in studio, and followed by a call from Andrew Kube with US Commercial Business and Capital. Again, you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Platinum MVP real estate team, and you can check us out at consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm Jason Avery, and I am the substitute teacher today as Brandon is out and under the weather, and we wish him a speedy recovery. I've got a guest in the studio today, Logan Briggs, the owner of Gulf Shield Roofing, and later we're going to get a call from Andrew Kube with U.S. Commercial Business and Capital. Of course, this show's brought to you by the Platinum MVP team, and I want to talk about a couple of their featured listings. We have a hot listing at 5444 90th Avenue Circle in East Parish, and that's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage. 2,500, almost 2,600 square feet. It's got a pond, front living, landscape on over a quarter of an acre. It's got a paver driveway and a covered front porch. The living room boasts a tray ceiling, built-in shelves, and a fireplace. The kitchen has a breakfast bar, stainless steel appliances, pendant lighting, and an island. There's a breakfast room that has serene views of the back patio, the sparkling pool, and the screen lanai. Primary, it's oversized windows, dual walk-in closets, plant shelves, in-suite with a walk-in shower, a jetted tub, and a makeup vanity. It's got spacious laundry room equipped with cabinets, shelving, and a utility sink. And it's got a new roof as of 2021. It's move-in ready. This thing is stunning. The property from overhead is stunning. And you can check it out for yourself at consumerqb.com. One more listing here is 14135 Cypress Circle, and that's in Tampa. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, carport. It's got double carport there. And it's got 1,308 square feet. It's a villa-style condo in Cypress Clusters at Carrollwood Village. It's got a covered front porch with a beautifully tiled floor. The living room flows effortlessly into the dining room and den. The sliders are off the living room, lead into the screened-in patio. The kitchen has shaker-style cabinets, stainless steel appliances, tray ceiling, and a breakfast bar. It has an in-suite with a dual sink vanity and a walk-in shower. This place looks amazing as well. Awesome place to check out in Tampa. Go to consumerqb.com and you can see it for yourself. I'm joined in studio again today by Logan Briggs. This guy's awesome business owner of Gulf Shield Roofing. I've come to know him through the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce and as a fellow contributor here on Brandon's show. And, you know, what's going on in the roofing world today,
sir.
man? It's a mess after these hurricanes, isn't it?
It's a mess out there. You know, this is supposed to be kind of a slower time of year for roofing, especially after the holidays and just into the holidays, but that is not the case. We've had these 2 major hurricanes, a lot of damage out there, helping a lot of homeowners with insurance claims, leaks, repairs, drywall paint, you name it, we're helping people out right now.
I tell you, it's I in my industry, you know, I'm doing a lot of room additions, and if it's 1,000 square feet, then, you know, under my license I can do it. But anytime it exceeds that or the rest of the roof, I get the guys like you on board. And I'll tell you, but I can't. Trying to get 1,000 square feet done. That's a tall order.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing lots and lots of the roofing out there, and I'm seeing that a lot of these people, though, after the Milton damage, you know, some people are feeling like they're not going to get any money out of their claim, or they're getting cheated on the roof from the insurance company. What are you seeing, and how do we protect people?
We're seeing a little bit of all of it, right? We're seeing claims that are real smooth, going right through the system, and, you know, the insurance company's doing the right thing, and there's not a problem. And then we're seeing ones where the insurance company hasn't even came out yet, where the customer might have submitted a claim, you know, October 10th, the day after the storm, and they're still not out at the homeowner's home. So, I mean, we're seeing a big, very wide range of homeowners in different situations, and we've we're really working hard to find solutions for them because, before we know it, it's going to be raining every day here. Right now it's been dry. We had a couple like rains here and there, but the rainy season's coming. And we want to get all these homes that were damaged by Milton fixed as fast as possible. And sometimes the insurance companies help homeowners, and sometimes they slow down the process dramatically.
I've met some other roofers in the industry that are, maybe it's because of the less manpower or something, but they're backed up 6 months already.
Yeah.
It's going to be that. I mean, how are timelines running in your world? How far out is the schedule?
Yeah. So that's a great point. I mean, we've heard that a lot on the streets talking to homeowners too, where they're like, oh, my contractor's not coming out for 6 months. We're not there yet. We're about 3 weeks out. We keep that schedule going. We keep our crews working. We keep our reps and estimators on the street constantly, and they want to get out there in as many homes as possible. And our crews just want to work right now. It's a great time of year to put on a roof. It's dry. It's
nice and cool outside.
It's almost too cold for roofing. I think we started this morning off at 38 degrees
up there in the wind.
Yeah. So, but nevertheless, it's a great time of year to get a roof put on. It's the weather just cooperates.
What's the scenario in the real estate these days when it comes to getting new homeowners insurance? I come in and I buy a property here, and I won't be able to get insurance if the roof is older than what? What is it these days?
I used to be able to tell you 15 years, but there are some insurance carriers that are just stopping at 10. And they are just not writing policies. But I can confidently tell you, if your roof is 15 years old and you're looking to sell it, you either need to start collecting bids from roofers right now, or you need to get it done, because it is going to become an issue, whether that's negotiations or when that buyer says, yeah, I want to buy your home. Then they can't get insurance. And then what do? And then you're forced into this weird situation where you have to get a roof within the closing period. And who picks the color for the roof? And I don't like that roof, and I want a different underlayment. So there's a lot of issues that can pop up during that process. So if you're over 15 years, I'm telling you right now, you need to probably get that roof replaced if you plan on selling your home.
So when it comes to like roof selections and roof types, obviously I see more shingles than anything else out there because it's the more economical choice, we'll say. I hear everybody that wants the metal, and then those that can afford it and those who realize that might be out of their reach. But what about the communities that used to be? There were so many of these deed restricted communities where you had to have tile, and I feel like some of these communities are steering away from that now. Maybe loosening the reins on it. Is tile starting to phase out because of the other options out there? Is tile still as prevalent and strong as it always was?
I mean, I love tile roofs. Are beautiful. It's a gorgeous roofing system, but that's kind of it. Besides for the look, the protection, you can get that from a shingle. I mean, metal roof, if you're looking for like the strongest high-rated wind roofing system, you're going to go metal. Metal cannot be outperformed in that circumstance. Tile roofing is going to be, you're going to see a lot of HOAs kind of move away from the tile and allow homeowners to go to shingle, because even if you wanted to get a tile roof, I can't build that roof for maybe 3, 4, 5, depending on your profile of a tile use, like 6 months until I can actually get out there and do it. And then the process of putting on a tile roof, a shingle roof I can put on in 1 day. Most of them are going to get done in 2 days. Tile roof, 2 weeks. So it's a lot more to tile, and I think HOAs are starting to understand that. And then also the price tag. Our average roof, shingle roof's around $15,000 to $17,000. Tile is going to be $30,000 to $40,000,
and then metal's probably gonna be $50,000, right?
Metal you can get a little more creative with.
It depends if you're going with a straight galvanized look, or if you want copper,
or you want it painted, right. Or if you want the standing seam, the real smooth, sleek, popular. That's a beautiful roof. Those are going to be a little bit more expensive, but then we have the exposed fasteners, which are actually starting to kind of catch up with standing seam on popularity, but it's going to be able to save you a little bit of money there too. So there are some roofing systems in metal that are coming down and being a little bit more value to homeowners, but it's still expensive.
And then I've always understood that, like with a shingle roof, when they tell you, you got a 40-year, 50-year, again, it's a prorated value. There's a lot of disclaiming going on in there. After 3 to 5 years, you don't have much coverage left. I get that. But how do the warranties compare on, tile products or metal products? What kind of warranties back those up? Is that what the selling points are for paying more?
Yeah, I think you're always going to have very very, very strong material warranties from the metal manufacturers. We use Tri-County Metals, who is a contributor to this to the show, and they're a great locally owned organization that I think they service pretty much the whole state of Florida. And what you'll find out, they have warranties that range all the way from 25 years to 35 years. And I mean, they might even have a 40-year one. It's because you can add some different paints, some different coatings that can really extend the life of a metal roof. But yeah, I mean, shingle roof is... It's interesting, right? Because I hear a lot of homeowners when they're talking to contractors, they're like, oh, yeah, this is a 50-year shingle. This is a 30-year shingle. This is a 40-year. Pretty much any time you hear a contractor talk about years like that on a shingle roof, cut it in half. Owens Corning, we're a preferred contractor of theirs, and we install 99% of our roofs are Owens Corning duration shingles. And what I would say is that they have a 50-year warranty on their shingles, but in reality of it, it's going to be a 20 to 25-year warranty. It's just shingles don't last that long here, but they do provide coverage, but it's very minimal, very minimal.
Okay. And then all these roofs, usually flow down onto some sort of a flat area. Yeah. And so, I mean, besides the modified bitumen, the torch down stuff, are you seeing much in the TPO? There was a time in my life, in my 20s, where I was selling a lot of TPO on manufactured homes. Yeah. And covering over the old, the exposed fastener metal, and putting insulation and rubber over it, basically a commercial roof. Do you see a lot of that? Do you dabble in that?
I mean, TPO has kind of made its exit out of residential roofing. You will see some manufactured home communities where they actually require a TPO coating over their roofs. But for the most part, residential, they've moved away. And most of that's because of insurance carriers. They don't really like to write coverage on a TPO roof for a home. They don't really understand the roofing system. TPO is a great system. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's phenomenal. It can last forever if it's installed correctly.
Yeah, it's installed correctly is the key word there.
That's key.
Yes.
It's got to be installed right. But the material itself is designed for roofing. It's like the perfect roofing system. However, the insurance carriers look at it as a rubber roofing system, and they want asphalt. They like that. They know how to write policy. They know how to write estimates. They know how to write coverage on those kind of homes. Mm-hmm. So that's why you'll see them kind of push away from it, or they might not want to write a policy on the TPO roofing system, but they still do it. But just that might be some of your challenges if you really seek after a TPO system on a residential home.
This is great. I mean, for those people listening that, they just don't know where to start. They don't know what to think about. I mean, at what age should they start looking at the roof? What age should they start having you come out and do an inspection for them or something?
10 years, I would say, at this point. And then it's because of insurance carriers and how kind of wacky
So if you're not seeing the stains on the ceiling yet and it's 10 years old, why don't you, instead of waiting until we get to that point where we've got rotten wood and moldy insulation and 4 more layers to contend with, around 10 years, they can call you up. You'll come out, take a look at it, let them know, what's left in it.
I mean, really start budgeting. People don't understand how expensive roofing can be. I mean, it's unreal. Every year it gets more and more expensive.
Well, Florida has a lot of snowbirds, and these snowbirds that came from up north had a very high-pitched, steep roof because the snow had to fall off, right? Yep. And so those roofs last a lot longer. They're only in the sun half of the day instead of full exposure.
Oh, yeah.
The rain would shed off instead of roll down and soak in. You know, it's just the elements that they're here in Florida. We build the roofs with a smaller pitch here because we can get more square feet under the same material. And
a lot of one-story homes here. They have two-story there. They have smaller roofs, but in general, they don't have the codes and the building inspections we deal with down here.
Yeah, hurricanes make a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking here with Logan Briggs at Gulf Shield Roofing, and then we're going to have another segment here with him when we come back, and we will find out what else is going on in the industry. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show by the Platinum MVP Real Estate Team, and I'm Jason Avery filling in for Brandon today. Check us out at consumerqb.com, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon BRimes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian, conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month.
Yes.
The kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils.
No, I can call them now.
Herbs. those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com.
All right, let me call them now.
And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com.
Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm Jason Avery, and I'm standing in for Brandon Rhymes with the Platinum MVP real estate team. I'm joined here in studio by Logan Briggs, the owner of Gulf Shield Roofing, and in a few moments we should have Andrew Kube calling in from US Commercial Business and Business Capital. We've got him on the line now. Andrew, I'm going to go through a couple listings here, and then we're going to dive into a conversation with you. We want to feature a couple of Platinum MVPs. I got one left here to go today. We got 3327, and this is Turks Cap Drive. It's Hernando Beach, and so this is 0.17 acres of vacant land, zoning VE, V as in Victor, E, and it's situated on a clear canal with 75 feet of waterfront, easy access to shopping, dining, and entertainment, unobstructed views of the Gulf of Mexico and west-facing Florida sunsets. No HOA, no deed restrictions. It's a charming waterfront community. Weeki Wachee Springs State Park, Jenkins Creek, Rogers Park, and Linda Peterson Park are all just minutes away. I reside in Hernando, and I will tell you that is a beautiful area. It's absolutely amazing out there. This is God's country. All right, and so, again, we have in studio Logan Briggs and Andrew Kube. You on the line with us here, sir? U.S. Commercial and Business Capital.
Hey, Jason, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. What's happening in the finance world today?
Oh, well, we're very busy as a company. We're helping out investors that are looking to grow their portfolios and business owners that are looking to start, buy, expand, or franchise. So we help probably about 50 clients every month. We talk to about 50 clients from all over the country and help them with their financing needs.
Fantastic. We're just, and I've got Logan Briggs, the owner of Gulf Shield Roofing, here in studio, and we were kind of just touching on, the financing of roofs and stuff, and what does it take in the way of down payments, and I'm sure you guys probably have some common things here to discuss. So, what is happening out there? What type of loans are people looking for right now, Andrew? What type of products are you offering most?
So our company, we're a commercial and business loan brokerage. So we help out. It's a wide range of different clients depending on what their need is and what they need money for. And what we do is we help the clients find the cheapest money for their projects, the lowest down payments, the lowest interest rates, the lowest cost for their loans. And I've been in the industry in lending for almost 30 years, and so I have tons of relationships, and I hedge those relationships to help people out.
So this isn't so much direct to consumer, like if Logan's company wanted to offer financing on his roofs through a company, like it's not. It's more so he needs working capital. He has receivables, and he needs to keep the cash flowing, right?
Yeah, so it's just all over the place. Every situation is different. So depending on what Logan might need money for his business, then there's different loan products out there to help him achieve his goals.
Very nice. And Logan, you were just talking about the direct-to-consumer financing, that side of it. We'll just touch on it real quick while we're here. What was it with the down payments?
I mean, what we're seeing in the market right now is a lot of contractors might require like 50% down, 75% down. I've even had one contractor to try to collect everything up front on a homeowner before. And, those are major red flags. I mean, in reality, you probably shouldn't be anything over 50% is a red flag. But anything below that, you should feel comfortable as long as it's a reputable, licensed, and insured contractor. Like Gulf Shield Roofing, we don't require any down payments at all. We don't pay till the job's completed and you're happy.
Yeah. In my remodeling business, we don't do any financing at all. It's not offered. It's cash customers.
Yeah.
And when it comes to taking deposits, it's I don't take more than 10% up front because there's actually statutes around that where you can be criminally liable if somebody wanted the refund. If it's more than 10%, you can hold 10%. If they drag you on for months and then kind of let you go and leave you hanging, you don't have to give that part back, so you can cover your time. But curious with Andrew, my wife's other business, a therapeutic spa. It's got a mortgage taken out on the building that's owned by our corporation, and it just curious. The rates were terrible with that when we started that process 2.5 years ago. How terrible are they still? Is there any recovery in sight? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? When is it time to refinance? Is that the type of, do you do those type of products it's for a corporation, but it's a mortgage on a commercial building?
So again, I'm a one-stop shop when it comes to lending. So if there's a program out there that fits that client's needs, then that's what I help them find at the best rate that's in the market. So, there's a wide range of interest rates depending on the need and how much money the client needs and their business and what they're looking to try to accomplish. So, have I seen rates come down? Rates have stayed pretty steady over the last couple months. I know the Fed has dropped the rate down to the prime rate right now is 7.5%. For your wife's business, you can remind me, you said she has a spa? Yeah,
it's a therapeutic spa, like massage and facials. So little old house from the 50s is now commercial.
Gotcha. So the government has set aside $5 million for your wife's business. So whether you're starting a business, whether you're buying a business, whether you're looking to grow your existing business or franchise, through the SBA, the government has set aside $5 million for every small business. And it used to be every person. Now it's every business. It used to be per person. And that got changed in November. So basically what I do is I help clients grow their businesses on that side of my business and so if a business owner has a plan for growth, they can utilize that $5 million through the SBA to be able to buy real estate for their business, to be able to pay off high interest rate business debt that they might have. They can get any type of equipment in a new purchase, and working capital to help their business grow. So, and then what I have is about 30 relationships in the SBA space. So sometimes when I get a client, I have to reach out to all 30 of them just to get a couple lenders that are interested in the project. Other times I look at it and I know exactly what lender that we should go to based off of price, based off of interest rate. So a lot of SBA lenders out there right now are going off the prime rate, and what they're doing is they're adding anywhere between 1 to 3%, depending on the lender above and depending on the risk above prime. Right now, I have a lender that I work with that is actually at 7.60, where prime is at 7.5. So they're pretty much at prime right now on all their SBA loans.
Well, I got my fingers crossed that our change in politics in this country is going to lead to improved rates in the future. We're down to our final seconds left and a lightning round. Logan, do you have any other tips or tricks you want to share with the consumers out there?
Yeah, just start budgeting. It's all of our estimates and are always free. Our inspections are always free too. So get a professional estimate, not your neighbors. Licensed, registered, licensed, and insured roofer.
Hire licensed contractors. I second the motion. Andrew, in 10 seconds, sir, any final tips and tricks you want to throw out there? Final thoughts?
No, if anybody needs to get in touch with me, if anybody needs money for investing or they're a business owner that needs money and they're looking to grow their business, I can be reached at 727-296-8650. Again, that's 727-296-8650.
Thank you thank you, Andrew, for joining us. We do have your information posted up. You can go to consumerqb.com and you can get his information, any of the other show contributors. You can check out Hot Listings by Brandon and Lindsay Rimes. These guys are awesome. They're my friends, the Platinum MVP team. Congratulations on the new baby on the way. And we hope you can join us for our happy hour at Brio Italian Grill. That's going to be Thursday, January 16th at 6 p.m. And that's International Mall. It's been great filling in for Brandon today. Thanks for having me, and we'll see you next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.